What signal would the U.S. be sending by having a high-ranking official meet with President Zelensky in Ukraine?
So, Julian, presence on the ground is the most obvious source and demonstration of support. And so it was great for Prime Minister Johnson to be there. It was great for the 4 presidents of East European countries to be there. That demonstrates support. And yes, it would be great for a senior U.S. official to visit there as well. It is clear that the United States is doing as much as it can to support in terms of the military effect, in terms of the weapons provided, in terms of the financing, in terms of the political effort, the sanctions on Ukraine, and all that is the really important stuff. The symbol of a senior U.S. official being on the streets of Kyiv would just complement all that.
Now, for the past couple of days, President Zelensky has been warning that Russia could use nuclear weapons soon. And he repeated that warning today. How real is that threat?
Of course, it's a real threat. President Putin has done unexpected things, things that no one could have conceived that he would do, like invade his neighbor. First time since World War II that one country invaded another to change the border. So he's done some things that we didn't expect at all, and so we have to be ready. I think we all heard Bill Burns, the head of CIA, director of CIA, say that they're taking it very seriously. They're watching it very carefully. They have not seen, CIA has not seen any indication that there is movement on the part of the Russians to deploy nuclear weapons. But of course we have to be careful. Of course we have to watch. Of course we have to be ready if that should happen.
And the Chancellor of Austria commented on Putin's state of mind earlier today. I want us to take a listen to what he said.
No, I think he is now in his own war logic. He thinks the war is necessary for security guarantees for the Russian Federation. He doesn't trust the international community. He knows that he has this weapon, and he knows the threat of this weapon. So I don't know if he really use it, but he knows that he can threat the world with this weapon. So I think he believes he is winning the war.
What do you make of that? Do you agree?
I don't agree. I don't agree. President Putin is, yes, sir, he's got nuclear weapons, just like we just said. He's been brandishing that weapon, and he's been losing, Julian. He's been losing. He was driven out of Kyiv, driven north back into Belarus, and his ground forces did very poorly. The Ukrainian ground forces pushed him back. They did brilliantly. We've all talked about the sinking of that ship. We've all talked about the number of generals that they're losing. And on the business of Mariupol, Mariupol is a hero city. And the heroes that are in that, defending that, they are going to go down in history. They're going to rejuvenate. They're going to make the Ukrainians fight even harder. So this is what President Putin has to deal with. He's losing. Sooner or later, he'll figure this out. Sooner or later, he will realize that his troops are not doing well. His Navy is not doing well. His generals are not doing well. And he will then have to figure out what he's going to do then.